Welcome to our world. Won't you come on in? Waiting just for you. Welcome to our world.
Oh, I have to pull up. Today, well, we already know because of the episode title. Why do I always make it seem like it's going to be some big reveal? It's never a big reveal.
Go ahead.
The people already all know.
Why don't we start making up random titles?
I thought about that,
Episode,
but then
just
for
lie
people
about what's going to be on it.
searching
and they wouldn't
for a
find it.
specific, yeah, it just doesn't work.
Maybe they
Okay,
would.
so this is actually from this was another suggestion for an episode.
Mhm.
This is from my brother's wife, your son's wife. Is that any?
My daughter-in-law, in other words.
Oh, you're done.
There's a
I was
word
trying
for that.
so
Yeah.
hard. Well,
Your sister-in-law.
my sister-in-law.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she messaged and said, I'd love to hear you guys talk about plastic surgery, mostly facial plastic surgery like Botox, facelifts, lip filler, etc. I'd be curious to hear you discuss what you think about plastic surgery, the influence of social media, beauty standards and how they have evolved, the psychological effects of it, ethical concerns, etc. And Samantha specifically, your perspectives of plastic surgery as a young woman. If you ever think about it, consider doing it, or have felt implicitly pressured to do it by people you know, society, etc. The answer? No.
Until you got that suggestion.
You're right.
Now you feel like you
You're
have
right.
to.
Yes. So to begin this discussion, because
Go
I
ahead.
think this is a really good,
It's an
a
interesting
really
topic.
interesting topic. Plastic surgery. Do you know when?
Are we
it
supposed to be experts
began?
on this?
No, I'm just
Okay.
asking you.
Do I know when it began?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I mean, I'm going to guess it probably began. Okay. I'm going to take a guess, but I'm going to say I'm pretty sure my guess is wrong, and it probably began in ancient Egypt or something like that.
Oh my gosh! Yes.
My guess was going to be the 50s, but I knew it had to be
No.
earlier than that. Go ahead.
Evidence suggests that reconstructive procedures were performed in India, Egypt, and Greece as early as 2000 BC.
See now, okay. So that's that. I don't want to say that's sad,
No, though.
but
no.
it's very telling.
No, it is, but it isn't, because I want to clarify. Within the plastic surgery umbrella, you have two specific, distinct categories. You have reconstructive surgery,
Okay.
which is for, like, if you break your nose
Right.
and you get your nose fixed.
Right.
And then you have cosmetic surgery, which is if you don't like the way your nose looks
Right.
and you get it changed.
Okay.
So reconstructive surgery is more so what.
So I have an example here.
I just gave an example.
Let's say you have two.
Okay.
Let's say you have two people.
My example wasn't good enough.
No,
I'll
let's-
leave. You
Let's say
can
no,
do this
no.
entire episode.
This is a question. This is a question. So you have two people. Okay. One of them looks
Like you and I.
very good. No.
Like
one
you
of them.
and I. I see where this is
No,
going.
one of them looks very good.
Me. And the other, Jim.
Have a great week, everyone.
And the other.
No, one of them looks very good.
That's subjective.
The other one looks like they're the kind of person where you would think, let's say, for instance, they really need a nose job. Okay? You wouldn't tell them, but when you see them, you would.
That's really mean.
Hold on. The first person gets in an accident and their nose is affected in such a way that now they look exactly like the other person, right? So now you have two people that you say, boy, they really need a nose job. The first one, you'd say, well, it's reconstructive surgery, so it's okay. The second one, you'd be like, no, you have to love yourself the way you were born, and that's all that there is to it. Sorry that you lost out on the genetic lottery. Too bad, ugly person.
Well, that's so mean. Well, first of all, I think obviously this ties into a broader topic of just what society considers beautiful in general, right?
Right.
Which, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but over time has changed over and over and over again. I'm not even just talking about the last 10, 15, 20 years, even though a lot of things have changed in that time period. I'm talking about literally the entirety of human existence. What has been considered quote unquote attractive or desirable has changed over and over.
One, it even varies between different cultures.
Sure.
Right. Even today.
Yes.
Different cultures would view different things as beautiful. But there are certain things I think that are, I don't know, from what I've heard, are universal, like symmetry.
Where have you heard that it's universal?
I heard it somewhere.
Okay.
I don't remember. I don't write down. Everything I've ever heard or learned, I don't have a, what's it called?
You don't remember anything you've ever heard
No,
or learned.
where you have your sources listed. Like you're writing a paper, you have the list of all the sources. What's
your
that
references?
called? References. I don't create mental references for everything that I've ever heard. Okay.
And that's why I'm better than
Well, then
you.
where did I hear that?
No, from me.
Oh,
anyway.
Okay.
I think a good example of that, though, would be a good example to refute that point would be which this is related, and you probably are not on this side of the internet. So the fascination with celebrities getting veneers, because that's like the big thing. And I've seen videos comparing how many celebs have gotten veneers over the years, and they'll show a before picture and an after picture, and it's very clear. Okay. And there are a lot of examples that people have, and the one that comes to mind when you were just saying that was Miley Cyrus, because she has them, and a lot of people were saying she looked better without them. And so what you're talking about, the symmetry, her teeth before that were not perfect by any means, but they gave her a distinct look and more of a unique personality or feature or whatever. Not personality, doesn't really make sense, but you know what I mean. Whereas now they're symmetric, and everybody, not everybody, but the internet, the side of the internet that I'm on, and I have not said or commented anything. I haven't liked any of these videos or any of these posts. They just pop up and I see what the people say. That's all. A lot of people say that she looked better before she got these perfectly white symmetric teeth.
Well,
so you and your symmetry over here,
I don't know.
You can stay
if
there.
If I had someone come up to me and say, "You are really handsome," okay, versus "You are incredibly symmetrical."
Can you start with a realistic situation, please?
I would rather have them just tell me I'm symmetrical.
No, you wouldn't.
I would.
Your symmetry is just
breathtaking.
There's actually
stunning symmetry.
Which, if for those of you that know me, and maybe one day when we go on camera,
on tour, I thought that's what you were going to say.
I tend to. I always thought I'm gonna cry.
Go ahead.
I always thought of myself as Angelica from the Rugrats, because I feel like I talk out of one side of my mouth a lot of the time.
And you realize that's only because of the way they drew the animation. If she's facing one way, they have her mouth on that side or on the other side.
But when I talk sometimes, and please don't look at my mouth right now, it's it's the left side of my. Stop looking.
I don't think you
the
do
left
that,
side
anyway.
of my face. No, I do, and I'm saying this because there's a filter on TikTok that shows you your facial symmetry. I mean, there are people doing it that are so off. It's really funny. And so I did it one day and I was like, oh my God, I'm one of those people. My facial symmetry is so bad. So I'm ugly. My father just told me I'm ugly indirectly. Is what's happening.
Okay.
Here's the thing. With all of this stuff in general, I feel like a big part of the issue is social media and the internet in general, because you have this quote unquote perfect standard, whoever that is for you, or whatever person that is, that you feel like you need to look like them or that you should, and that there are things that you could do to your body to make you look more like them, or just what the perceived, standard of beauty is at the time. Like, for example, like she said, getting Botox and stuff so that you don't have
Right.
forehead wrinkles and all of that.
Right.
God forbid a woman show signs of aging.
Well,
God forbid. Like, what?
And at one time, and okay, not to say maybe that women aren't more affected by this, but it's not just women.
It's not just
right?
women. I didn't say that.
I know, but you
But
said
when
God
I'm
forbid a woman.
because if you're talking about like forehead wrinkles specifically,
Right.
there's a whole thing about this. Like
Right.
when men look older and have signs of aging, they're considered more attractive. And when women do, they're considered, you can't shake your head. This isn't debatable. This has been like a tried and tested.
I think no, but my point is, I think
not you.
I think that may be true. That's what I'm saying. I think for
it's
certain
for people that were
attributes,
already attractive.
for certain.
You said I was ugly, so
I did not.
yes, you did.
I did not.
Yes, you did. Indirectly.
No, I think if you age, quote unquote, in the right way.
Yeah, but
okay?
what does
in
that
other words,
mean?
everyone. Well, okay.
Don't smoke.
If you're the guy, no.
What are you talking about?
If you get the gray, like right here in the front, a little bit that you look distinguished or whatever. Okay, so there are specific, quote unquote, standards that kind of apply to guys too. So look at pictures of Elon Musk from when he was about 30 years old, okay?
No.
And his hair was receding and all of that.
And
then all of a sudden, I don't know how many years later, but he has a full head of hair.
Okay, but
that didn't happen on its own.
No,
okay?
it didn't. And I mean, I'm not. My point in saying that was not to create this argument between men and women or anything,
right?
Because obviously there are a ton of ways that men do stuff like that to keep up or whatever. In general, though, I think, and this is my experience from what I've viewed, as men get older, it seems, whether or not they're changing their appearance or whatever they're doing, it seems to be that they are in some ways seen as more valued and more like seasoned and knowledgeable. Whereas women, it's the opposite. It's like, well, you're getting older. You should maybe step out of the limelight. You're looking a little haggard. You should you need to go rest, grandma, like that kind of thing.
Right.
And so it's like a completely different. And so I'm not suggesting men don't have to do physical things.
I know what you're saying.
Or whatever.
I understand.
But I feel like
I'm not arguing with that. I'm not arguing that point either.
Right. And that's a societal
just
issue.
The initial point of this podcast, though.
Yes.
I guess in a general sense, my take on it is, okay, people should be able to do whatever they want to do. But I think, first of all, you have people that take it way too far, and they take it too far, maybe way too early, right? Like you have girls that maybe are in high school and want to get plastic surgery and all of that, right?
Horrendous.
Right. And so you have that. And then you have these people that get addicted to plastic surgery and they look horrendous.
This is maybe an insensitive comparison, but if you'll recall a previous episode when we discussed, what is it? The ship of Theseus? Is that what it was?
I think that sounds
where
right.
Is the ship the same ship after all of its parts have been replaced?
Yeah, that's exactly
such
it.
A similar concept.
No, but it's true. I mean, you have, and it's sad. There are some people that you see, and I can't think of the specific person or people, but there were a couple of them, and I'm thinking the one in particular. Like I said, I can't remember her name, but it was like she was very pretty. And then she got one thing done, and another thing, and another thing, and another thing, and they wind up looking like horrible.
Yeah.
And it's sad. Now there's that, right? So there's, to me, people like that have psychological issues, right? But then there's the whole aging thing, which is a little bit different, and it's the same thing. I think it puts more pressure on people psychologically,
right?
Because now they have to deal with, even if they were very, very attractive when they were younger, it's like, no, you're not going to be that way anymore. You're.
Yeah. I think in general, the way I feel about it is whatever you want to get done, any of this stuff, and as I answered in the beginning, to answer this question, I personally don't have any interest in getting anything done. I don't know. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's just because I'm attractive enough and I don't need. No, I'm
It's
just
probably
kidding.
because you
It's my mouth.
probably
What?
because you want to be in the live action Rugrats as
As
Angelica.
Angelica, you're really my confidence is just
Oh, you're the
soaring
one
through
that
the roof right now.
I'm like,
Anyway,
what?
I could though. I could. The bangs, I would kill that role if they ever do it. Okay. Anyway,
A baby's got to do what a baby's got to do.
I personally don't have any interest in it. I don't. I think if you're going to get stuff like that, Botox, fillers, whatever it is, two things. The first thing, I think you should be doing it for yourself. I don't think you should be doing it because you're trying to fit some societal standard. If you just really are uncomfortable with the shape of your nose and it's always bothered you and it's not something that, you look at all these pictures and you wish you look like them, but it's more so just like literally everyday life, your nose annoys you. I personally think that is a good reason to do it. I don't think it's a good reason to get this stuff done to quote unquote fit in.
So if your nose annoys other people,
that's not a good reason.
Okay.
I've never, and I kind of pride myself on this. My entire life, I've never been the person that has tried to fit in any way. That just has not been me. And I feel like a lot of people that want plastic surgery get it to fit in. And maybe I'm wrong. And maybe this is super judgmental, but that's just how I see it. When you see someone, a celebrity, get something done, and then all of a sudden it's like a trend on social media to get this done, that's not because you wanted to do it for yourself. It's because you wanted to look like whoever just got it done. Like, let's not kid ourselves here.
Yeah.
And so I think if it's for you, whatever you're doing, that's great. And if it's not, then I think you need like a little confidence boost or something that's not getting plastic surgery.
There's like a fine line when you say if it's for you, because I think, I don't know, no one that ever gets it done is going to say, I'm getting this done so I will look more attractive to other people. They all say they're doing it for themselves. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So they have to be honest about it.
Well, that was my first point. But then my second point was also, if you are going to get stuff done, I think you need to be honest about it. I don't think you can say, because there are like celebrities that'll, be interviewed, that they all of a sudden look like, and I mean, Ozempic, obviously, and stuff like that. That's a similar topic or whatever, but they'll ask them like, oh, you look great, new workout routine, new whatever, and they'll be like, oh yeah, I'm eating clean now, and I'm going to the gym 5 days a week, and I'm doing this. It's like, no, you're on Ozempic and you just got a facelift and filler and all. Like, let's not kid ourselves. You did what you did, you paid for it, and if you really are not ashamed of what you got and what you're doing, then tell people.
Well, and also because that's really selfish. Because a certain percentage, at least, of people are going to believe you.
Yep,
okay?
Exactly.
And then you're putting that much more pressure on them because they're thinking, oh, yeah, I just need to exercise more.
Yeah.
I just need to work on my whatever daily beauty routine more or something like that. And the other thing, well, two real quick things that kind of concern me about this. One is, again, you create two classes of people.
Yes, exactly.
You create the
people
class that can afford it.
Yep.
Because some of that can be very expensive, and you create everybody else.
Yep.
Okay, so it's like, if you're not attractive, we're gonna treat you like garbage because you don't look good enough and you can't afford to have this work done. The thing is, and this, I know this is not about AI, but again, if you look at pictures online now, you can't even tell if it's AI or not. So you're going to see more and more of these quote unquote perfect people, okay, that don't exist. And it's going to create more pressure societally for people to look like that when 1/100th of a percent of the population looks even close to that.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
I think one of my favorite things that I've seen online in response to stuff like this is the saying that we were never meant to look at ourselves as much as we do. And I think that's so true. I think, besides mirrors and all of that, whenever those came around, obviously social media, you're looking at other people and comparing yourself and all this stuff. You think about, I mean, we've talked about comparisons generationally and all that. And you think about like the 60s,
Yeah.
you didn't, it wasn't, you could compare, you could, magazines and stuff, you could compare it, but it was not easy to compare yourself, or for guys to look at what they want in a woman and like what their physical standard for a woman is.
Right.
It was nowhere near as easy for them to be able to look and say like, well, this is what I see online, so this is what I want in real life.
Right. Well, like, I mean, you still had the like magazines and things like that.
But I'm saying
not
with
to
social
the
media, it's like
Well,
you have millions of options.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is you have people seem much more vain now. I'm not saying they necessarily are, but the number of people that constantly post like pictures of themselves, selfies and stuff, and like, just making weird faces just constantly. It's like constant. It's like
and it's
to
all
me
for,
it's weird.
but it's for
I think
the external validation.
Right.
And I feel like obviously I'm making it sound like it's really easy to ignore all of that and to just be your own person and do what you want to do and all that.
Right.
But and it took me a while to get to like the point where I'm at right now, which is comfortable with who I am and what I look like and where I'm at in life and all that. But I feel like it took a lot to get where I am, but it was very worth it. Because if I had to live the rest of my life feeling the way I felt when I was like 15, I don't know how I'd survive. I genuinely don't. Like, trying to compare myself to the people around me, the people on TV and all that stuff. And it's like, yeah, obviously I still watch TV and I still see people like celebrities and stuff. And I'm like, I'll never look like that. But I'll never look like that for a reason, because I'm not paying for the plastic surgery. I'm not on Ozempic. I'm not, and even besides that, and I know this is, more off topic now, but going back to the money part of it, besides that, I can't afford a personal trainer. I can't afford a personal chef. So even if that's what they're doing, that's not never. I mean, the personal chef is a goal for me. I'm going to be honest. So maybe one day we'll get there. But I think when you look at these people's lives and how they look and all of that, if you're going to compare yourself to them, you need to compare, like, I don't know how to say it, but like the person they were before all that.
Right.
You know what I mean? But like you can't even do that.
No.
So what's the point in comparing? I just can't.
There is no point. There is no point.
Yeah.
I mean,
like, just live your own life. I don't
it really is
understand.
about, learning to accept yourself the way that you are.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, but at the same time, like I said, if someone, it goes back to what you said, really, when you said, if you're doing it for yourself. So if someone, has a certain feature that they feel like, and everybody talks about like nose job, for instance, right? And they just really feel uncomfortable with it. And, and they want to do that. Okay. They should have every right to do it, whatever. But it's just, you have to be really, really careful not to just go down that road where, once one thing is done, well, now this, exactly. And for a lot of people, it's sad. For a lot of people, it doesn't. And the bottom line is, everyone, no matter how you look now, you're going to get older. And no one, after a certain age, no one looks better as they get older. It just does not happen.
I think the important thing is to...
For me, it happens.
And I know this sounds like so cliche, but there's like no other way to say it, because this is really where I'm at now, is learning to love yourself as you are.
Yeah.
And like whatever you don't like about yourself, my mouth, whatever. It's
That's
fine.
so funny that you're bringing like
you'll notice it now. I know you, and I'm trying really hard
I'm gonna
not
keep-
to talk on the one side of my mouth right now.
Let me get my level.
That's something I'm kind of self-conscious about, but it is what it is. But whatever it is, you just, it's something you need to constantly tell yourself over and over, like, that you accept yourself for how you are and who you are.
Right.
And then you'll reach a point where you'll see these beautiful people that it's an unrealistic beauty standard, and you'll realize, like, yeah, they're beautiful and they've had work done, and that's great. And I am also beautiful for different reasons, and that's okay. And I don't need to look like
And
them.
also, you got to remember, everyone, and I mean everyone, feels like there's some feature about themselves that isn't perfect and they would change.
My mouth.
So you're bringing up your mouth, right? But even like that example I gave, and like I said, I can't remember who it was, but someone who most people would look at and think this is a very attractive actress, okay? And then she winds up getting all that stuff done.
Right.
So even for somebody like that, who 99.9% of people would see her as quote unquote perfect, they don't see themselves that way.
Right. Yeah, they're like,
So
the body dysmorphia is real. I do want to be honest, though, about something because I did, well, two things, actually, I guess, technically. I have poor eyesight. And two things that I've done self-corrected.
Uh-huh.
I have contacts, but the only
Right.
reason I started getting contacts was because when I was playing sports, it was better not to have
Right, to wear
glasses on,
glasses, right.
obviously, which shout out to the really mean eye doctor that yelled at me for 2 weeks every day after school because I had trouble putting contacts in for the first time. That was a traumatic experience.
That's
Anyway,
aggravating.
so I wear contacts, but that's not for like because I wear my glasses most of the time at this point anyway, but I wear contacts not for a beauty thing. But if I'm going outside, I need to wear sunglasses because my eyes are super sensitive. So
Right.
I wear contacts for like a functional reason,
Right.
not because I think contacts are more attractive than glasses. That's
Right.
number one. Number two, I have also had my teeth. I did one of those like clear retainer system things for like a couple months, and I wear retainers to sleep now. That is not for other people. I genuinely I can't remember a single time when, like, before I did that, where someone made a comment about my teeth or anything, but it bothered me when I was like running my tongue over my teeth and I could feel how out of place they were. It bothered me, and that's why I did it, not so that people would think I was more attractive.
Well, you know the funny thing, if they had those clear aligners when I was younger, I might have done that.
Yeah.
Like, to me, to do something like that now, I'd be like, why?
Why?
It would be like a waste of money. I think as you get older, you care less.
About what other people
You really do. You care less, and you think more about, well, what do I want to do? How do I want to spend my money?
Yeah.
And if you're still, if you hit a certain age and you're still worrying about like all this kind of your physical appearance and what other people think about you, I think you have issues then.
Yeah, I think, and as far, kind of to wrap this up, as far as then the getting old segment of this conversation is kind of like, in general, I'm terrified of getting old because for functionality purposes, I don't want to be like, having trouble walking up steps and things like that. So it's more of a functional
To me, that's
reason.
more important. Yeah.
But and maybe I'll feel differently about it once these things start happening. Like, if my hair starts getting gray, or not if, when my hair starts getting gray, or, more wrinkles on my face or whatever, maybe I'll feel differently about all this. But thinking about it right now, I'm just like, oh, I've lived my life. Oh no, like, how dare people know that I've lived my life? Like, I just don't understand why, besides the fact that like Hollywood is a fascination with making people look younger than they actually are for some reason. I have no reason, no purpose myself to want to change anything. If I get gray hairs tomorrow, I'm going gray at 30. I just am.
Hey, there are
That's
people
it.
that happens.
I'm not going to dye my hair.
Yeah, there
I'm
are people
not
that
going to get
happens too.
Botox if I get
The one
wrinkles.
thing though that does happen, and I don't know the exact age, and it's a different age for different people, obviously, but you literally, I heard this or read this, and it's true. You hit a certain point and you kind of become invisible.
Yes.
In other words, people that would react to you, like maybe be friendly and all that, and it happens less. You literally become invisible.
Well, that's kind of sad
people
to think
look.
about.
It is, but it's true. They look past
feel
you
invisible?
to
Is
the
this
younger
what you're
person. I
saying?
do. I'm transparent. I'm completely transparent. But
Well, we
no,
knew that already.
I'm telling you. Like, that happens. And when that happens, it's a rude awakening.
No.
And you realize,
Here's
I'm officially old.
the
I
thing,
am not
though.
attractive to people anymore. And then, hold on. And then the sad thing is, then you realize I was attractive before, but I just didn't know it. And I didn't take advantage of it.
I knew I was attractive, so I was fine. Anyway, my thing is, whereas that's like a horror story for you, that's my dream. I want people to leave me alone.
Well, I've kind of accepted that,
I
and I like it.
can't wait for people to stop talking
Yeah,
to me.
yeah,
I can't wait.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think all of the plastic surgery and cosmetic things and all that, I just think it's so surface level, and there's so many other priorities that I have in my life that not that I don't put effort into the way that I look, which you could disagree with as I sit here with my glasses and my messy bun and Nana's robe, but my priority is still like my own mental development. Like
Yeah.
I'm still doing so much learning at like about random things, reading books, listening to podcasts, listening to new music. Like I just have so many other things that I care about that the way that I look, unless I'm actually going to like an event or somewhere that I would prefer to look slightly different.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like I care so much more about my brain and what I'm producing and putting out into the world than what I look like.
And like worry more about just being a good person.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because that doesn't change.
No.
No matter what you do, like I said, you're going to hit a certain age, you go downhill. Everyone, it happens for everyone,
I can't wait.
So yeah, it's
everybody leave me alone.
Yep. On that somber note, we bring this episode to a close.
Just just the one other thing that I wanted to mention, because I think the only other thing is getting procedures like that done if it's also related to your health. Like people that get, I don't know, whatever the weight loss things are.
Oh, yeah.
Or whatever. Like
for
those,
first,
if you're...
That's a different reason, though.
I know, but that's what I'm saying.
Right.
If we're talking about surgical procedures, like cosmetic procedures, that is literally for your health. That's
like some people get a
different.
nose job so they can breathe better.
Exactly.
Because it's not an issue with
Which
that.
I guess that's more under the reconstructive category or whatever.
Right.
But
other people get rid of the wrinkles on their forehead so they look better. Oh, that's not what you mean. Never mind.
Good day. Wait, let me read through this really quickly and make sure we talked. Oh, no, I lost it. Please hold. No. Oh, maybe I passed it. No, there it is. The influence of social media, beauty standards and how they have evolved, psychological effects, ethical concerns. Yes.
I mean, yeah, beauty standards and how they've evolved.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Well,
no, we're done. I'm editing all this out. Goodbye.
Okay, that's fine. So what are we talking about today? Since it's Friday.
It is Friday, as the kids say. I hate myself. Well, seeing as we had a guest on
this full error
last week's episode, we now have...
No, I'm only kidding.
I know you were kidding.
I probably should have stopped and started a new recording, though.
No, but now you're messing it up because now the flow and...
Okay, go ahead.
And this is an outtake.
Flow. Go with the
flow.
flow.
Do you have anything else that you'd like to say?
Let's do it. No. Have a good weekend.
Oh.
Go ahead. What are we talking about?